Here's something that keeps astrophysicists up at night. Every telescope we've ever built, every particle detector ever engineered, every instrument humanity has ever pointed at the cosmos, all of it combined can only detect 5% of what the universe is actually made of. The other 95%, it's invisible. It's undetectable by conventional tools. And yet, it's the force that holds galaxies together and drives the entire expansion of the cosmos. Physics calls it dark energy and dark matter. Now, and what if your body works the exact same way? Modern Western oncology has built extraordinary tools, CT scans, MRIs, genetic sequencing. And with those tools, it has become the world's greatest expert on the visible 5%, the material world of cells, tumors, and lab values. That work is genuinely brilliant, and it saves lives every single day. But the other 95%, the invisible bioenergetic architecture that maintains cellular order, regulates immune function, and ultimately shapes whether a cancer patient recovers or declines, that terrain is completely outside the reach of those instruments. What Western science is only beginning to conceptualize, Eastern medicine mapped out 2,500 years ago as a complete working system. Today, we're going to explore what I call the science of human dark energy, and why it may be the missing piece in your cancer recovery. A lot of people in the West assume that ancient Chinese medical texts are just collections of herbal folklore, quaint, historical, but scientifically irrelevant. That assumption is one of the most expensive misunderstandings in modern medicine. The Huangdi Neijing, the Yellow Emperor's classic of medicine, is not a recipe book. It is a densely encoded instruction manual for the human biological system. Think of it as the source code written in the language of its era for something that modern biology is only now developing the vocabulary to describe. Take its central concept, qihua, energetic transformation. The text states, when qi arises, life manifests. When qi scatters, the physical form collapses. In Western translations, qi is often reduced to air or breath. That translation does the concept a serious injustice. In the framework of modern quantum biology, qi is closer to what we'd describe as the body's invisible information field, the systemic energy flow that coordinates cellular communication, regulates inflammation signaling, and keeps the entire biological network in coherent order. Think of it through the lens of wave-particle duality, a concept from quantum physics that most of us have at least heard of. Western oncology is masterful at treating the particle, the visible, measurable tumor mass. What the Huangdi Neijing teaches is how to modulate the wave, the underlying systemic resonance of the whole organism. Here's the clinical implication of that distinction, and it is critically important. When aggressive chemotherapy successfully destroys cancer cells, the particles, but simultaneously disrupts the body's qihua, its dark energy regulation, the physical body can begin to collapse from the inside out. Not because the treatment failed, but because the 95% foundation was never protected. I want to share a case from my own clinic, because this is where theory meets reality and where the blind spot becomes impossible to ignore. A patient came to me with advanced stage cancer. He had just completed several rounds of high-intensity chemotherapy and radiation. His Western oncologist reviewed the latest lab results and told him, on paper, everything looks good. Your counts are in the safe range. The tumor has shrunk. By every measurable metric, that was a true statement. But when that patient sat across from me in my clinic, what I saw was not a success story. He was profoundly depleted, barely able to lift his wrist for a pulse reading. His complexion was ashen, and his eyes, in Chinese medicine we call the eyes the window to the Shen, the spirit, and were completely empty. According to the 5% material metrics of Western medicine, he was doing fine. But on the 95% map of human dark energy, his system was in total cascade failure. The Huangdi Neijing has a precise term for this state, the extinction of the primordial field. The most advanced imaging technology in the world could not see what I was seeing across that desk. And so I made a decision that would seem counterintuitive, even baffling, to most conventionally trained doctors. I did not prescribe a single herb targeted at attacking or killing the cancer. Instead, I directed my entire therapeutic strategy toward one goal: reconstructing his dark energy network. In classical TCM terms, tonifying the primordial qi, restoring the circulation of the life force. Every day day, I read his tongue and pulse, not as ritual, but as real-time biometric data. The tongue and pulse in Chinese medicine are the body's readout screen. They tell you what the lab report cannot. Based on that daily feedback, I micro-adjusted his herbal formula the way a master audio engineer fine-tunes frequencies. Small, precise, responsive changes. 3 weeks later, a man who had been unable to swallow water without distress experienced what I can only describe as a full systemic reboot. His appetite came back, strength returned to his limbs, and here is the part that matters most. As his internal dark energy was replenished, his body's own innate immune system reactivated and began suppressing residual cancer cells more effectively than any targeted drug had managed. We did not fight the tumor harder on the material battlefield. We repaired the 95% foundation that the tumor had been exploiting. I want to be absolutely clear about something because this is where a lot of people in the integrative medicine space get it wrong. Traditional Chinese medicine and Western oncology are not in competition. They are not adversaries. They operate on different registers of the same reality. Think of it this way. Western medicine is the precision soldier on the ground, equipped with the most advanced targeting technology ever developed, deploying surgical strikes to destroy the visible enemy. That soldier is essential. That soldier saves lives. Chinese medicine is the theater commander, reading the entire landscape, managing the invisible dimensions of the conflict, working to ensure that the ground the soldier is fighting on doesn't collapse beneath everyone's feet. You need both. And when both are working together, when the visible 5% is being treated with the full power of modern oncology, and the invisible 95% is being actively supported and protected, that is when genuine, lasting recovery becomes possible. Real healing begins the moment we have the intellectual humility to say, we currently only understand 5% of the living system we are trying to save. I am Dr. Yao, and this channel exists to close that gap. Subscribe and join me as we continue to explore the intersection of ancient wisdom and modern science, completing the map of recovery that conventional medicine alone cannot draw.